And let's talk about school going back. How do you feel about that?
I'm very worried going back to school. Our district hasn't made any announcements about what we're supposed to do. I don't know how to say it in the right way, but I think for us to be asked to go back to in-person learning at this time is inappropriate in so many levels. We already give so much of our time. We give our own resources and materials. We give our heart, our soul. I sometimes feel like there's nothing left to give, but now they're asking us to give our health. So health is already sacrificed, but now really put yourself in harm's way for these students. And I think we've been asked to do that in a number of ways with school shootings and, those active shooter drills that we have to go through, so that has been added into the mix. But now there's this pandemic and a virus that we don't know much about, and we think we should be social distancing. We don't really have the means necessary to keep children safe and educators, staff members safe, but we think you should go back because the mental health needs of our students is very important. I agree. It's very important. The mental health needs of our students are of utmost importance. So what happens when they die?
What would you like to see?
I think it should be remote learning until we know more and we can guarantee the safety of our staff and students. And it's both staff and students, everybody, all people involved. I myself have an immune disorder, and so let's say I go back, now it will isolate me from my family 100% because my mom is 74, and my sister has a daughter who has also a suppressed immune system due to medication. So not only will it put me at a physical risk, now I will be alone. I will not see anybody because the people that I see on a regular basis are also at a great risk. So what about my mental health?
Right. What do you think teachers need the most right now?
I think we need to be listened to.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people really need to think about what we're being asked to do because the arguments out there are not logical. We're being asked to return to school because of the mental health of students and the economy. We need to be able to get the economy back on its feet. Yes, we definitely need to do that, but at what cost? And
Right.
So I think that people should be listening to the educators saying, we can't do this in a good way. We can't keep students away from each other. My room is not going to support 35 students.
Classrooms are small.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
And I have high school students. What about those who have little ones? That they're not going to stay away from each other. They're not going to keep their masks on. It's not going to be a safe situation. There's a post that says, what happens when the first teacher dies or the first student dies from COVID-19, and how do we handle that? And what do we do?
Then what?
Yeah. And that, I'm not even talking about protocol and procedure. I'm talking about mental health wise.
Mm-hmm.
How as a school are we going to handle a student dying from COVID-19 or
Yeah.
a teacher or a staff member? What if they don't die? What if they just have COVID-19? How do they replace the teacher? What about a substitute? And who have they seen? And how have they been interacting with other people? And let's say we get a substitute in, but all of the class where the student or the teacher had COVID-19, do they then have to stay home for the next 2 weeks? And how does that work? And just procedurally, how would you make that, what would that look like? I mean, it just creates this kind of, what's the word, domino effect.
Yes.
Of craziness.
Yes.
Like, how can you possibly make that a working situation? It doesn't, when you really start to think about how could we make this work well, it can't. It cannot
Mm-hmm.
work. I don't know.
Well, I'll be interested to hear what Adams 12 has to say.
Me too.
Yeah.